Welcome to this IG Trading the Markets podcast. I'm Jeremy Naylor, taking a look at some of the tradable events for the week starting Monday, the 17th of June. And we begin overnight in China, where we get industrial production for the month of May and retail sales also for May. The one standout feature from recent Chinese economic data has been how relatively poor the domestic economy is over the international. The authorities focusing very much on exports and how they can gain market share globally. This has been not necessarily to the detriment of internal growth, but certainly internal growth has been a very poor performer relative to its external export business. China unemployment as well for the month of May. Then later on in the day, we get the US New York Empire State Manufacturing Index for June. That's it for Monday. Tuesday, 18th of June, starts us off with an RBA interest rate decision. The current rate of interest rate is 4.35%. Will it cut rates? There's a possibility it might do so. 25 basis points is the expected move if we do see it down to 4.1%. We'll have to see what the rhetoric is around that as well, as to whether or not some of the slightly stronger than expected economic data that we've seen recently, especially around employment and wages, if that could keep the central bank on hold. German ZEW economic sentiment for the month of June. We know that the German economy is in all sorts of trouble, so that could well continue to run that through on a negative figure. US retail sales for May and US industrial production also for the month of May. Corporate news headlines out at 7 o'clock across the RNS tape, including Ashtead Group full year numbers. We'd seen a recent report suggesting that Ashtead, which has a lot of business in the States, is getting fed up with the London markets. And maybe if it does feel that there's a negative swing to some of the political talk, if we do get a new government with a Labour incoming government, if there is an anti-business slide to this, Ashtead could be one of those that might actually end up going to the New York Stock Exchange at the expense of its exposure here in London. Whitbread trading statement for the first quarter, and the recruitment company, the STEM recruitment company, S3, on its first half figures. Wednesday, June 19th, we start off with the minutes from the Bank of Japan meeting, not the last one, but the prior meeting. So it's a bit of a historical document. It's unlikely to move the markets very much, but we do get Japanese trade numbers out as well, out overnight. Then comes the big one here in the UK, ahead of the Bank of England interest rate decision on the Thursday. At 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, UK time, we get UK consumer prices, producer prices, and retail prices, which could go some way to maybe point to an interest rate cut sometime over the summer from the BoE. US NAHB housing market as well for June. Barclay Group is the only corporate of note to watch out for on the slate in the UK, full year numbers at 7 o'clock in the morning. Then on Thursday comes that Bank of England interest rate decision. Because it's not a release where we see full economic data reports, it's unlikely we'll see any move from the BoE. And indeed, some suggesting because of the high rates of pay that we're still seeing across the UK economy, that we may not even get an interest rate cut come August. At the next time when the Bank of England releases all the economic reports, that's November. And we might get some insight from some of the BoE members as to how they're thinking about the potential for interest rate cuts in 2024 at this meeting on Thursday. German producer prices, US initial jobless claims, Philadelphia Fed, and the eurozone consumer confidence flash for the month of June completes the picture for the economic data on Thursday. Corporate data on Thursday, including CMC Markets full year numbers, along with DS Smith, also on its full year figures. In the US, we've got Accenture and Kroger, both on quarterly earnings. Friday, June 21st, it's the day when we get the flash June PMI data for consumers, for services, for bank, manufacturing. We get numbers out as well in France, Germany, the eurozone, Italy, Spain, UK, and the US as well. So we get insight into the PMI numbers across the board. Outside of that, UK public sector net borrowing for the month of May, and the US Baker Hughes rig count at 6 o'clock in the evening UK time. And that's it for our look ahead to Monday, June the 17th.